I'd like to welcome everybody to our call today, and we're glad that you could show up for the call and listen to um, the information about actually how to do the reviews online. And I know everybody's really busy schedules. One of the things that our point is about this is to show you how to get more five-star reviews, but also help you to save time in actually accomplishing that. So the time you'll spend in this webinar will be paid back later by the time that you save and the increase in the five-star reviews. So at this point, I'd like to introduce our host, to Brody Tyler from RevenueJump.
Awesome. So we're going to learn how to turn customer feedback into more referrals and five-star reviews. I am here in Idaho. And sorry, it's a fuzzy picture, but I like backpacking in the mountains with my sons. I have 3 sons, and so this year I'll have to go back and get a more clear picture on this one. But the reason why I wanted to share this picture is because we're at the peak of the mountain. We're at the top, and a lot of times what we do is in marketing, we focus on getting new customers, and that I equate to the top of the mountain, the top of the peak. And a lot of times we forget about after the sale. Yeah, we provide the services and products that they purchased, but we can leverage our new customers in more ways than just providing services to them. And so I'm going to talk about after the sale, how to monetize your new customers after the sale. And so with that, I have 3 promises. Number 1, you're going to discover why customer feedback is so crucial to your company's profitability. So customer feedback. Number 2, we'll share the streamlined strategy that makes it easy for your happiest customers to publish 5-star reviews about you on the websites that matter most. And then number 3, you'll find out how to turn your best customers into your best promoters, making it simple for you to profit from word-of-mouth marketing and to attract more referrals. So customer feedback, 5-star reviews, more referrals. And so we're going to start with customer feedback. That's where it all starts. And the reason why is because 86% of buyers will pay more for a better customer experience. And that's important. That speaks right to your bottom line. They'll pay more for it. So that means you can charge more if you capture their feedback and you're able to provide that customer experience. If you're not asking, though, you're guessing. You're not understanding what your customers are really thinking. So you have to ask. And companies that utilize a strong customer engagement plan retain an average of 89% of your customers. So not only can you charge more, but you'll retain those customers longer. It's just a matter of improving their experience. So how can you capture that customer feedback? So here's 4 different channels that you can capture that customer feedback. One is the number one I have on here is mobile. Text messaging. Everybody has a smartphone these days. Mobile is a great way to be able to capture customer feedback. Desktop computers, laptops still work, websites, social media, and even face-to-face. So if you meet your customers face-to-face, you can capture feedback that way. It's not as reliable, and we'll go into the reasons why later. But what is measurable? And so you might have heard of the NPS, or the Net Promoter Score, perhaps the Customer Effort Score, or the customer satisfaction. And there's reasons why I don't like the Net Promoter Score. A lot of people use that. There's some psychology behind why I don't like using it, but so we prefer to use the customer satisfaction score. Is the customer happy or not? And so let me show you 3 ways to initiate surveys with RevenueJump to capture that customer feedback. So number 1 is a single survey. And so when you log into RevenueJump, you'll see this screen, and you can click this button in the lower right-hand corner to initiate a single survey. And this is the form this is what the form looks like. And so you can type in the customer's first name, last name, mobile number, email address, select the location and the employee. Here we have Dwight Schrute, or the type of survey. And And so this is how you initiate a single survey within RevenueJump. Or if you see this tab right up here, CSV, you can send a batch of surveys by downloading our template here and then re-uploading it as a CSV file. And so you can either send one or a batch of surveys. And what we prefer, though, is try to set up automation whenever possible. So here's just an example of a software. This one's called Infusionsoft, but we can automate with hundreds of different types of softwares. Basically, it needs some sort of trigger, and that's what these are. These are tags. And if we can set a delay so that we're not surveying the customer right away, that's actually going to provide better and more honest feedback. And then we apply the RevenueJump tag. And so this is just an example of how Infusionsoft automation works. But like I said, we can automate with hundreds of different types of softwares so that the surveys are being sent out automatically. And so when the customer receives that text message or email, this is what they see on their cell phone or their desktop. This is what we call a one-click survey. And it asks the question, did Dunder Mifflin, or the company name, meet or exceed your expectations, yes or no? And if the customer is not happy, they're going to tap no, and then we ask them, why? Please help us improve. What could we have done differently? This feedback is private, Chris, and it also gets stored back inside RevenueJump. So we keep track of every survey that you send through RevenueJump, whether people are happy or not. And then if they're not happy, we store that feedback and we notify you. And then we provide analytics for all of those surveys that are being sent out. And let me go over what the difference between first party and third party feedback is. And so this is kind of an important concept to understand. And so let's say your customer's not happy with you. And in their mind's eye, they might view you as this scumbag, right? Somebody trying to take advantage, or somebody that's not competent, and they're just really not happy with you. And so are they going to tell that to your face if you ask them? If you survey them directly, are they going to be honest and open with you? And more often than not, studies have shown that they won't. They'll actually just ignore the request for feedback. And the reason why is because people want to avoid confrontation. And so that you're not going to understand that they are actually unhappy with you. Instead, what we want to do is we want to survey the customer through a third party such as RevenueJump. And RevenueJump will be able to capture that honest feedback. And then once we have it, then we can share it back with you. And we're more likely to capture that feedback than you are directly, just because it's a third party tool. And inside RevenueJump, you can track the performance of your locations and an employee. So with every RevenueJump survey, it's attached to a location and an employee. So let me show you what that means. Remember how we sent out this survey? This is a single survey where you can assign it to a location here. So if you have more than one location, you can compare how they're performing on a location by location basis, or you can attach each survey to an employee. And so let's say you have a dental office, for example, and you have 3 dentists in the practice. Well, you can attach a survey, a patient survey to their dentist, and then we provide reporting on it. Here's the satisfaction score, and you can sort these analytics by location and by user. And so you can say, all right, dentist Bob is not doing as well as dentist Mary. And so what do we need to do about Bob? Can we train him? Can we give him some feedback? Can he do better? And so this is how RevenueJump is able to help you to capture feedback easily and to track the performance of employees and locations. Any questions about the customer feedback section so far?
Yeah, I'd like to like there's a number of questions that come back to us, and they often ask the same questions. We often get people coming back and saying, hey, we already do reviews, we we survey every single person that calls our office, and to find out how they found us, and what the process was that they managed to find us. What's the difference between doing actually RevenueJump and just doing it manually?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, it's probably best if I just answer it right now with these slides, because that is an option. And you know what, Chris, if you're doing it manually, that's better than nothing at all, right? At least you're being proactive. But it kind of goes back to the first party versus third party feedback. People aren't going to tell you to your face if they're not happy. So that's one way that something like RevenueJump can make it easier to get that feedback and to get 5-star reviews. And so let me go into this, just to clarify something real quick. Reviews versus testimonials are not the same thing. Testimonials are something that you capture from somebody that you know is happy, and you publish it on your website or in your advertising. The reviews are on a third-party website like Google, Yelp, Facebook. If you're an attorney, it's Avvo, or if you're a doctor, it's Health Grades, or if you're a contractor, it could be Angie's List. And so those are reviews that are on third-party websites. Testimonials are something that you utilize in-house, and that's important to understand that we're talking about reviews here, not testimonials. And so why are reviews so important? Let me give you 3 reasons. Number 1 is your reputation. 85% of people, and this is crazy, trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. And the reason why I think this is crazy is because reviews are like people you don't know, they're strangers. And so people trust feedback from strangers almost as much as they do like their friends and family. And so your reputation is on the line here with people that you don't even know. And so reviews are very important in that manner. So let me give you an example. Here are 2 Shark Tank hosts. I don't know if you know Mr. Wonderful and Damon John, but they both have seminar companies. And when we took this screenshot, Get Motivated Seminars had 2-star rating with 4 Google reviews, and Damon John Success Formula had 4.8-star rating with over 1,000 reviews. Which one would you choose, Chris?
I would choose the one with the 4.8 rating. For sure.
Yeah, and 1,000 reviews. All things being equal, yeah, you choose Damon John Success Formula, and he uses RevenueJump. And a year ago, he didn't have any, by the way. Let me give you another example. This one's a little trickier. These are the 2 Ford dealerships that are closest to downtown Chicago. And when we took the screenshot, Fox Ford Lincoln had 347 reviews, and Metro Ford had 345 reviews. So about the same number, but a difference in star rating. And so obviously you choose all else being equal, you choose the higher rated dealership to be able to do business with, right? And so it's not only the amount of reviews that you have, but it's also what your rating is. That's important. And Metro Ford also uses RevenueJump.
Well, one of the points that's I think really critical too is that, like I see sites with actually 3 or 4 reviews. So would I trust 3 or 4 reviews, or would I trust an average of 345 reviews more?
Yeah. So that goes back to the example earlier with this one. I mean, over 1,000 reviews versus 4 Google reviews. I mean, that's a solid 4.8-star rating. And so quantity is important. But here it shows that even if the quantity is about the same, even quality is important.
Right.
So let me ask, are you just like Trump? Trump has fake news. Do you have fake reviews? And this is a problem out there. And so this is one of the reasons that we got started with RevenueJump, to help businesses to combat fake reviews. And so here's an example of one. Here's an orthodontist from 4 years ago. He got a bad review, and this is obviously a fake review for him because he never had a patient with the last name Park, and everything in here is just different. It's just interesting details and broken language. So it's obviously a fake one, and it's what we think is that one of his competitors hired a someone in a foreign country to leave negative reviews for all his competitors, and this guy got slammed. And so, unfortunately, this review is still public; it's still there. But the best thing that you can do is respond to the review. Say, "Hey, I'm sorry, we've never had somebody with your last name as a patient. Please contact us to let us know what's going on," type of thing. So you kind of discount the review itself. But one of the best ways that you can negate a negative review like this is to bury it with a bunch of 5-star positive reviews. And now Dr. Garner has well over 60 reviews for this particular location.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, Brody. We have a couple of clients that this has happened to with actually fake reviews, and they typically only had a few reviews to choose from. So when you find it, there's only 3 reviews and 2 of them are bad. You know, you're going to think that the company isn't very good, even though they look like they're kind of fake or something. So you have to have enough volume there in your review pool to be able to cover up anything that goes wrong. Like every company is going to have a few that are a little bit off. And the other thing is, I think from what I understand, it's more how you deal with the problem rather than the fact that you have 1 or 2 issues that occur.
Yeah, you can't please every customer, right? Everybody's going to have an unhappy customer, and everybody's going to get a negative review sooner or later, no matter what. But if you can just try to help that customer out, maybe help to change their mind, or at the very least, get a bunch of more 5-star reviews. So I mean, a lot of times what's happening, Chris, is that your reputation is not lining up with what the level of service that you're actually providing, and that's strictly because an effort isn't being made. And so you've got to be able to get more 5-star reviews. Like, let me show you this example. Here's a company. No, I'm sorry. This is a profile of somebody who's given a review, and he gave a 1-star review to a company called AJK Resources and another one to AJK Dance Agency. And so what happened was that he wasn't sure which company he wasn't happy with, so he left a negative review for 2 companies with a similar name. And so somebody got the raw end of that deal. One of those companies did. This type of stuff just, unfortunately, it happens, but you got to be proactive with it and deal with it. The number 2 reason why reviews are so important is because branded search results. Now, you work a lot in SEO, you understand search results, and branded search results are where the name of your business is Googled, and your reputation is very important here as well. And so here's just an example of one of our clients. Google reviews are showing up there, Facebook reviews, Yelp, MapQuest, and even reviews down here. And so it's not just important to get reviews on Google, but it's important to get it everywhere else, on Facebook, Yelp, wherever. So if you just Google your company name, whatever shows up in the search results is where you probably want to focus first on getting those reviews.
Yeah, actually, one of the things that Google has told us based on their tracking, that they see substantially higher click-through rates on search engine results that have a review in them, like 1 over 4 or 5 stars in it, than they do on the rest of the results. So if you're on a page with 10 results and 3 of you have reviews and you have a 4 or 5 star review, you'll probably get the click.
Yeah, I'd love to, if you have any statistics on that, I'd love to hear them, but that I'm not surprised. And I've always guessed that, but this is the branded search results, but it can also help you with your local rankings. And so this kind of goes along with what you were just saying, Chris. What I did was I did what's called a local search analysis, where I analyzed almost 6,000 search results pages, 54,000 listings, and 1.3 million reviews, and how those reviews affect where you rank. And so if you see this infographic here, and if you look in the 10th spot down here, the number 10th ranked business had an average of 14.3 reviews, but a 3-star rating. And in the number 1 spot had an average of 38 reviews and a 3.7 star rating. And so here, I mean, obviously Google's not going to say, hey, Chris, you need X number of reviews to rank number 1. but there's a very strong correlation between how many reviews you have, what your average rating is, and where you rank. See how linear that is? 3.0, 3.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. It's like, I don't think that's by accident. What do you think?
Well, Google is looking for the most relevant and most popular. So, even though they may not use actually review as a total deciding factor, there's over 200 factors in their algorithm. If it becomes a part of it, then everything that you get in your favor is going to push you towards the top.
Yeah. Yep. And the first time I did this study, I didn't look at the rating, but this time around I did. And even what your rating is affects where you rank, it looks like. But this kind of goes back to what you were talking earlier about click-through rate. Look at this search result, Chris, and tell me, who would you choose?
Well, I would probably look at either number 1 or number 3, Jack or the last one, because they have a little bit higher rating.
Yeah, they have a little bit of higher rating, 5.0 versus 4.8. And
the first one has a lot more reviews, so I'm a lot more confident in that rating.
That's a good way of putting it, confidence. And so the number of reviews you have lend confidence to what your rating is. I like that perspective. And yeah, probably more often than not, Jack Trent is going to get the click through or the phone call, because you can call right there from the search result, or the click through to his website. And so, yeah, I don't think that's by accident. And he didn't do a whole lot of SEO. Reviews is his main thing, and that's probably why he's ranking number 1 for this particular keyword. So when it comes to reviews, I'm going to give you 4 don'ts and a do. So number 1, don't ask unless you know. So don't ask for a review unless you know that you're going to get a 5-star review. I know that kind of goes against what Yelp and Google want you to handle it, but I still don't believe in really asking for like a 1-star review if you know somebody's angry, right? Number 2, don't use kiosks. As you know, Google knows where your tablet is located or where your computer inside your office is located. And so don't set up a kiosk for customers to leave a review. That's not, that can do more harm than good. Number 3, don't use email signature links. This kind of goes back to number 1. If you have it in your email signature, then you're asking anybody and everybody, even if they're not happy with you, to leave your review. And then number 4, don't incentivize. It's either against the guidelines of the review site or it's against the law. And so really, you don't need to incentivize. If you have happy customers, all you need to do is make it easy for them. That's it. And that's what RevenueJump does. And so let me show you how RevenueJump makes it easy.
Actually, Brody, can I go back for one? I'd just like to make one point here that is all there, but I just want to make sure. You said don't ask unless you know. So we talked about the fact that the first action that they take is, are you satisfied or not? Yes or no. So that's where you go, don't ask unless you know, is that you're not asking for a review. You're asking if they're satisfied. If it's yes, you'll give them the opportunity to provide a review. If it's no, the thing gets routed back through the company so that you can try to deal with the issue because you know that it's an unsatisfied customer. Is that right?
That's right. And so this is what we call a one-click survey, and this is where you actually find out. This is how you know, by asking, are you happy? And this is our version of are you happy? Did the company meet or exceed your expectations? Yes or no? No, we find out why. Yes, if they are, again, just in full disclosure, the Yelp doesn't want you to be doing this. But I think it's a good business practice, good customer service to get feedback and find out what your customers are thinking so that you can improve your services, so that you can deserve those 5-star reviews. And if you deserve a 5-star review, then if they're happy, then they're gonna click yes. And so that's where we ask, we're glad to hear it. Will you please share your experience online? Then Google, Yelp, Facebook. And this, we can customize wherever we drive this review traffic to, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say you click on Google it brings up the review form, and whenever possible, it tries to pre-fill the 5 stars. And so the goal is to make it easy, right? And so RevenueJump does that whenever possible. There's so many different types of devices and computers that it makes it difficult to have like a one path to a 5-star review. And so what we try to do is we detect what type of device they're on. We try to avoid making them log in. We bring up the app if it's installed on their phone, or we pre-fill the 5 stars if we're able to. So RevenueJump tries to optimize their experience in all these little ways to remove roadblocks for them to leave you that review. And that's what makes it so effective. Once you do get those reviews, we monitor your reputation. So we'll capture reviews inside the RevenueJump dashboard. We'll show you the top review sites that you have. We'll show you the number of reviews that you have, what your average rating is across the board, and how those reviews are distributed by rating. And so we provide analytics within one dashboard. You don't have to log into Google to see theirs. You don't have to log into Yelp to see theirs. You can do it all in one dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want even more reviews, so RevenueJump does a great job at getting reviews, but if you want even more, then if you add automation to it, like we were talking about earlier, those clients that are on automation with RevenueJump see 260% more reviews. And that kind of covers everything for the second promise about getting more 5-star reviews. Do you have any other questions about that, Chris?
Yeah, well, this kind of goes on to, the idea is to be able to populate all of the actually social media platforms with actually more reviews in an easier plan. But one of the questions that always comes up, I have bad reviews on Yelp. How do I get rid of them? Like, is it possible to go in and delete them, or
That's a good.
This is a typical question from clients that I hear.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a typical question for us as well. And it kind of, you remember that negative review I showed you about on Google, that where he thought a competitor had hired somebody in a foreign country to leave him that review? Well, it's still up even 4 or 5 years later. Unfortunately, there's no real way to get these reviews deleted. And so the best defense that you have is to reply to that review in a very kind manner and show your customer service. And the second method is to bury any negative reviews with positive ones. So unfortunately, fighting negative reviews is an uphill battle, almost impossible. I had one client a long time ago threatened to sue somebody for a 3-star review, and she reported it to the local news agency, and next thing you know, they're standing out in front of his office talking about the 3-star review and how he threatened her with litigation. And so that went from like bad to worse, right? It wasn't even bad. It was a 3-star review. So it wasn't like a 1-star review. So you just got to be careful about how you handle those negative reviews.
So the main point is just to provide your proper customer service and try to deal with it as best you can to show that, that if there is a problem, you're going to try to help.
Yeah. So number 2, get more 5-star reviews. Yeah. All right, let's talk about referrals. Everybody loves referrals, and this goes just about for any business, right? And so let me show you the value of referrals. So word of mouth marketing, 1 word of mouth impression is equal to 5 paid media impressions. And so it's a lot less expensive to get word of mouth marketing out there, especially if you have like a high-end product. It can be even worse for the paid media impressions. And so word of mouth marketing, referrals, a lot more profitable for you. As they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? So is the road to referrals. And so what I mean by that is like everybody asks their customers and their clients for referrals, but maybe those customers are happy and they say that they will and they intend to, but I mean, they get busy. They have their lives and they get distracted. And so you're not number 1 on their mind. And so even though they told you that they'd refer, even though you asked them, It just doesn't happen. And so how do you get to referral heaven? So number one is incentivize. So you can't incentivize for reviews, but you can for referrals. Now I know a lot of people say that you can't because it's based off of the industry or where you're located, but I'll show you some ways that where just about every single business can incentivize for referrals and do it legally and ethically. And number two, just like with the reviews, you want to make it easy for your customers to refer their friends and family and colleagues. So let me show you how. Oh, actually, let me show you one way you can do it. It's through cold referrals. And so I don't know if you've ever been to a timeshare presentation, Chris. I have, but at the end of the presentation, when I deny the sale and I don't want to do that presentation, they say, all right, how about another free trip for you and your wife? Well, all you have to do is just sell out your friends and family, give us their contact information, fill this form out, and we'll give you a new free trip. And so what happens is that their sales guy calls all my friends and family, and my friends and family are like, thank you, Brody. I appreciate you selling us out. I can't get this guy to stop calling me, right?
Right.
And so yeah, everybody's been on one end of that scenario or another, and that's called cold referral. And I guess that's okay. That's one way to get referrals. That's not how RevenueJump gets referrals. RevenueJump generates warm referrals. And let me show you the difference. So remember this one-click survey. So if they're not happy, we find out why, and they tap no. If they are happy, they tap yes. Instead of asking them for a review, we ask them for a referral, and then we make it easy. And so here's an example of your customer and the message that they see. Give your friends 20% off. And to say thanks, we'll give you a free Dwight bobblehead when they place their first order. Obviously, you're not going to have your own bobbleheads, or maybe you do. I don't know, Chris. But what you want to do is here is input your referral offer and provide an easy way for your happy customers to share it with their friends, family, and colleagues. And so when they tap on the share button, it says share this offer, Facebook, SMS, or email. And we can also add Twitter on here or other platforms where they can share this offer, either publicly on their Facebook or a direct message on Facebook, via text message or email. And when they tap on one of those, we're actually going to pre-fill that message. So here's an example on Facebook. I love working with Dunder Mifflin. They gave me 20%. So RevenueJump will pre-fill this offer. And so we'll do that with a text message. They tap on text, it'll pre-fill that text message. If they tap on email, it'll pre-fill the subject line and the email content. So all they have to do is maybe customize it if they want and click send or post. And then
so it makes it really easy.
Yeah, it makes it very easy. And this is what's called a warm referral. So they get to share it. So they promise you that they'd refer you, but they want to share it, and they're going to make it easy for, it's going to be easy for them to share it with their friends in the way that they want to share it. And so
actually, Brody, the message that you're pre-filling it with, can you change that message? Like, I assure you that you have a default one, but are you able to customize that message yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can put in whatever referral offer that you want in here. And then your customer, when they click to post it or to share it, they can then further customize it and before they are able to post it. And then once their friend or colleague clicks on the iShare.bz link that you see in the bottom right-hand corner, that's a trackable link, a shortened URL that we track every click that goes to any landing page or offer page that you want.
Okay.
So that's how easy it is to get more referrals. And what you want to do is you want to utilize one of these 7 offer types. There's a gift. So you can do like an actual prize, a discount on your services, a credit for a future purchase, cash offer. You can do donate on behalf of your customer. You can enter them into a drawing for a free trip or a prize. You can just give them recognition. Like maybe you have a newsletter and you say, hey, thanks to all these customers who referred us to their friends and family this month. And so not all of these are monetary, right? And so every business can utilize these types of these types of offers. Any questions about that?
Yeah, actually Neeraj is asking how do you access the tracking info?
Everything is back in the dashboard within RevenueJump. So I don't have a screenshot for that, but you can log into RevenueJump and get all of that feedback and all of those statistics inside the RevenueJump dashboard. Good question. So you have these 7 different types of offers, Chris, and you can combine them so you can do a drawing for a free gift. And then what you want to do is you want to plug these 7 offers into 3 offer structures. So the first offer structure is a give-get, where you give a prize and then you get a prize. Or there's a prize just for the giver, or there's a prize just for the getter. And so this is kind of confusing. Let me go through and give you some examples to explain this real quick, and then I'll answer your questions. So here's an example of give-get. Care to share $500? Give your friends a $250 credit, and to say thanks, we'll give you $250 too. That's both the referrer and the referee getting a prize. So here's an example of just the giver giving and getting incentivized. Want an extra $250? Tell your friends about service and we'll give you a $250 credit. And so that's just your customer that's getting rewarded. And then here's your customer's friend or colleague getting rewarded. Liked your service? Pay it forward and give your friends a $250 gift card so they can enjoy service too. And so sometimes the incentive for your customer to refer their friends and family is just to be nice, just to pay it forward. And so that's this example. Any questions about that?
Elaine, you talked about contests. Is there any kind of contest actually software in the system itself, or are you looking at plans of maybe adding some later, or is there a way to integrate that, easier?
Yeah, great question. So this referral system, we call it the Easy Referral System. It's fairly new for RevenueJump, and we're looking to build it out in multiple ways. And we're looking at that contest software to be a part of that. And so it's just a different, I guess it just depends on what our clients like you and your clients are asking for and requesting, Chris. If we get enough people that want a certain feature, we're very flexible. We're a small business, but we understand that it's not a perfect system. So we do want to build it out how our clients and customers want it. So we don't have that feature yet, but it is on our radar.
Okay.
All right. Good questions. And so one of the questions you might be asking is, how do I get my hands on RevenueJump? First, let me show you everything that's included with a typical RevenueJump subscription. There's text and email surveys. So we actually find, Chris, that text converts like at 71 or 72% better than email. And so we include text messaging with every package. It includes the easy referral system on most packages, and that's what I just reviewed. It includes review site monitoring, so we'll keep track of all your reviews on Google, Yelp, Facebook, etc., and then we'll report on those and give you alerts based off of that monitoring. It includes reputation alerts. So if we do find like a negative review online, we'll let you know about it, or if you get any negative feedback, we'll also notify you. It includes a dedicated mobile number. And so this is, what we would do is we'd get a mobile number that has the same area code as your main business line. And for example, if somebody replies to a text message survey that you send out, that message gets forwarded to you so you can answer that customer's question. It includes customized survey sequences. So you can customize, like we were talking about earlier, you can customize the wording on that referral, those referral offers and that type of thing. And we provide analytics and reports across the board. And as well, obviously we want to automate whenever possible. We get better results when we automate, and so we want to help you set that up. And every package includes automation setup as long as it's available. And there you go. That's pretty much it. That's the presentation. Any other questions, Chris, that I can answer?
Yeah, like a lot of people ask about Yelp reviews, and sometimes people put in reviews, but they don't really stick in there. What's the key to getting actually the Yelp reviews to stick?
And that's a great question. Number one is you got to make it easy for them to review you. And when I say them, I'm referring to Yelpers. And if you notice, if you remember on one of those slides, I won't try finding it now. It's back in the middle, but when your customer clicks yes and it asks for a review on Google, I think our example had Google, Yelp, and Facebook. That's the reason why we have 3 options for them to leave a review on, is because we want them to choose the site that's easiest for them. And so if you survey a Yelper and they're happy and they click yes, and they see Yelp as an option, they're going to ignore Google and Facebook and they're going to leave a review on Yelp. And so RevenueJump can help get more reviews on Yelp in that manner, because you don't know who's a Yelper. Unfortunately, you don't know all of your customers and what their preferences are. So you have to give them like a little menu of options for them to be able to pick their own review site that they want to. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, one of the other questions I have was in Yelp. It's still with Yelp. In Yelp, if somebody leaves a review and they've left more reviews on more sites, do they look at that actually review as being a little bit more authoritative than if the person's only left one review?
Yeah, Yelp has very strong filters, and there's some other websites out there that filter based off this as well. And a lot of times you'll go into your Yelp profile and you can read the filtered reviews. A lot of those reviews are filtered because there's multiple reasons why Yelp filters out reviews. One of those reasons is it could be the number of reviews that customer has left at the time that they left your review. So if they've only if your company is the first one they reviewed, it's higher chances that it's going to get filtered out by Yelp than somebody that's reviewed 24 other companies, right? And so it's metrics like that Yelp uses when filtering out. Sometimes it's just like even good reviews and reviews from very strong Yelp users get filtered out. I don't know the rhyme or reason to that, but you're more likely to get a review that sticks from users that use that platform more often.
Okay. One of the other questions is, we briefly talked about some of the main review sites. Can you give us a quick list of actually some of the optional ones that, because we saw Facebook and Twitter, Google Plus on there.
Yeah, that's a good question. And so what I would do is I would do a branded search result for your company and see which review sites show up in those search results. And then I would focus on the top 3. And so, for example, if it's an attorney, we can help you get reviews on lawyers.com and Avvo, AVVO. I don't know if I'm saying that one right. If you're a doctor, we can help you get reviews on Health Grades and vitals.com. If you're a veterinarian, we can help you get reviews on Vet Ratings with a Z. I think it's .net or .com. And Angie's List, Better Business Bureau, yellowpages.ca. We even have I think we have some customers in Salt Lake City, Utah who are getting reviews on. There's a TV station that has a website that's heavy on reviews, and it's called KSL. So we can drive review traffic to just about anywhere.
Yeah. At one point I saw a list of all of the different review sites. I'm sure it's bigger now, but it's quite a few. There's quite a few different types of websites that you're able to push reviews to. based on your kind of business and what kind of a review site makes the most sense for your business.
Yeah, we try to make it easy as possible for just about any website. Though there's a few that we're not able to, but we can definitely attempt to do so if you want, if you have something that we don't already do.
Yeah, and actually Google Plus, everything, how successful are you at actually getting reviews inside their system?
Um, we're probably Google's probably the easiest for us to get you more reviews on, and I think it's because a lot of people have a Google account, so they're more familiar with it. We actually did a study, Chris, and I know I've talked to you about this, so I may have the number wrong, but we analyzed our clients as far as reviews go 6 months before Revenue Jump and 6 months after starting Revenue Jump. And the clients that we tracked that for ended up getting, I think, 650% more reviews. And I think
Yeah,
most of those reviews were on Google.
yeah, I know we have one client that we had offered them like a program similar to this quite a while ago, and it was only a few $100s a month, but he couldn't really see the expense and thought, oh, I can have my staff do it very easily. Well, we tracked him and continued to follow up with them for 4 months, and I think in the matter of 4 months he got 14 reviews. We put him on to RevenueJump, and in 2 months he had over 270 reviews, and his rating went from 3.4 to 4.3.
Yeah,
So
that
it
is awesome.
definitely works.
I hadn't heard about that. That's music to my ears. That's awesome to hear. That's cool.
As Brody and I have talked, we have SEO clients from all different levels of programs that we're on, but I do know that actually RevenueJump has basically three
Re-
different levels of service.
Hey, Chris, it's just as a reminder, it's Revenue Jump now, and I don't blame you for calling it
Oh
Review
yeah,
Jump.
sorry.
Yeah, no, just to give you a little
Anyway,
background, we used to be called Review Jump, and then we started adding features like the referral system, and our name didn't kind of make sense anymore. And so that's why we're focusing more on just surveys and monetizing surveys in different ways, not just reviews, but with referrals. And in the future, we'll come out with new ways of leveraging feedback. And so that's why we changed our name to Revenue Jump. So
okay.
no,
Yeah,
no worries
yeah,
there.
good point. So yeah, so there's different levels of actually the services, the service itself. There's the basic level of 20 surveys a month. There's a booster level of 200 surveys a month, and an achiever level of 2,000 plus. 2,000 surveys a month. And there's a few levels above that. Each of them provide different levels of options, and we'll be pushing out some information about what those details are and what's going to be offered in those as well, and discussing different ways of how we can integrate actually Revenue Jump with the current SEO services that we offer to give a value added service to the clients that we have now. That's something that we're going to be working on over the next couple months to actually roll out. But for those companies that do have a lot of reviews, as Brody pointed out, it can be automated so that you can pull from your customer list and it'll pull into Revenue Jump and enable you to push out reviews in a more automated process so that it's not manual anymore. And as I alluded to in the beginning of the webinar, is that you can really save yourself a lot of time. Trying to get reviews manually is a very painstaking, time-consuming process and usually is not very productive. So this is meant to make it easy, and it's meant to really get a better gauge of what your customers think about your services and give you a chance to provide a way of helping out anybody that's had an issue, finding out what that problem is, and then being able to address the problem itself before the person goes out and tells all their friends that they don't like your company.
Sounds good, Chris. Is there any other questions I can answer?
Yeah, I think we're good. I think all the questions that came in have all been addressed. So I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to attend the webinar, and anybody else that wants to see the webinar, we're going to make it available on our website as well. So you'll have an opportunity to send clients, or you'll be able to have your own staff actually take a look and decide, if it's the right kind of service for your company.
Well, thanks for having me, Chris. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Brody. Thanks for showing us around and giving us the description about the process and how it all works, and actually how we can make it easier and a lot more productive. Really appreciate your time and effort today and explaining everything to us.
Well, thank you. Have a good one.
Okay.